Welcome back. We are building a 14-foot Aber dinghy in this sequence of videos. And last time I showed a bunch of video from Rob painstakingly prepping all of the planks, getting them glued and sanded, ready to go on the boat. And I spent a lot of time beveling off the keel so it was ready to receive the garboard planks. In this episode, we'll start actually putting the planks on the boat. And I just wanted to mention first that whenever we're using wooden blocks to either clamp or screw into while we're epoxying or wood gluing things together, it's important to remember to cover them with clear packing tape. I don't know if you can see it here, but we always do that so that the blocks won't stick to the boat, which would be really horrible. Is this thing going?
Yeah.
After cleaning off the areas that were going to be bonded together, we coated them with a layer of unthickened epoxy. Then we mixed in the filler and coated them with a layer of thickened epoxy. Then we set it down in the right spot and began to screw and clamp it onto both the keel and the construction mold. This is the first time I've ever tried actually gluing an epoxy plank onto a boat, and I gotta say it was really nice to have a helper there. It was so much easier with Rob than it was later on when I tried to do it by myself for the first time. It's really important to try and clean out any epoxy squeeze out right when you're done clamping everything together, because it's so much easier than when it's hardened. So we're very excited. Finally got an actual plank onto our keel. It's the first plank. We're learning how to do it as we go. The garboard on this side, and then we'll get the garboard on the other side. Here's a front view cross-section sketch of the overlapping strakes. The first thing is we need to leave a little bit of thickness on the original plank so that it will have strength. Then we need to remove a little bit of it so that the next plank will fit on properly. The length of the bevel will be the amount that the two strakes overlap, which is indicated on the plans. You might just be able to see the width of the bevel that I marked out with a pencil line all the way along the strake. Here I'm just beveling all the way down the strake up to that line. So I marked out the taper that has to happen on the bottom of the plank. This will be flipped over and go right on here so that the planks, the little edge, will get thinner near the stern of the boat and also near the bow. So right now I'm just trying to taper this down from the full thickness to a shallower thickness here. And I marked out the thickness of the overlap as well, just to kind of have a reference for that. doing it on here because we don't have a very good workbench set up. It's flexing a little bit, which is slightly annoying, but I think it's coming along. No, like planing this plywood isn't the most pleasant experience, or it's not quite as pleasant as planing nice normal wood. It's kind of handy because you can see the lamination layers and figure out how deep you're going. Alright, so that's my 30 centimeters back to there, which is what it said the taper should start at, so getting kind of close. I don't want to make this too thin because then it'll be very delicate. Alright, now we're down at the bow. I'm going to do the similar taper coming in here. Just kind of support this while yeah, that'll work. Not perfect, but I just finished tapering down the inside of this board. Because the strakes are a little bit longer than they need to be, in order to get the tapers correct on either end, we had to make a registration mark on both the new strake and the previous strake that was already attached so that we knew we were measuring accurately. When this lays in here, yeah, it's thinner here and then it gets thicker as it goes back, which is what we're going for. I think that's pretty good. I was really fortunate to have Rob's help on the first two strakes, so I thought that I would try and do the third one on my own just to see what it was like. So yesterday I was able to screw on the third plank, and that was a bit of a handful to do by myself, but I think these first 4 strakes are going to be the hardest ones to do because the curvature where it comes into the stem is the most extreme part of the whole boat. Had to do a few more screws in here than I was originally planning. I think the instructions said something like every 8 to 10 centimeters, and I wound up doing about that for sort of the center section of the boat, and then towards the bow where the curvature becomes much more extreme, I had to do a bunch more. So a lot of learning process going on here. Once we get this strake attached, we'll have 4 planks on, and we'll be able to plane a flat section down the entire keel, and that's where we will attach the false keel and a false stem that's going to come over the front and cover up all of the ends of the planks. Well, that's it for today. Next time we'll get into building the skeg and doing more planking, and I will see you then. Take care. Bye.